Okay, so now we're going to move on to the middle hitter. And this is important. Middle hitting, you don't have, because of the type of offenses that are being run nowadays, you probably don't have enough time and space to run it with a four-step approach. All right, so most middles, whether they're young or whether they're old, elementary school to Olympic level, you'll see most middle hitters take what's known as a three-step or a three-contact approach. Okay, and the reason for this is middles tend to be the fastest attack among all of the hitters. They're hitting the quickest paced or tempo attack, and this gives the defense less of a chance to react to what the middle is doing, or they have to respect what the middle is doing, and that'll free up what the opposite pin and the left side pin are doing. So middle hitters tend to use a three-step approach. The vast majority of middle hitters in the world are right-handed players because it's much easier for the setter to set a right-handed player versus a left-handed player. But every once in a while you will see a left-handed middle hitter. And if the setter's good enough and the middle hitter's good enough, it can be very tough to, as a defensive player, getting used to that left-handed middle, because the set goes a little bit farther and the hitter is hitting at different angles than what we as blockers are used to. So this is what a three-step or three-touch middle attack should look like. I'm a right-handed player right now, so I'm going to take a three-step approach. This is going to be a left, right, left, and because this is usually done at a quick tempo, I want to be in the air just as the setter is touching the volleyball, or I want to be in the air just slightly after the setter has touched the volleyball. Okay, just letting the garbage truck pass by. So, because a middle has to get their arms up quick, they tend not to have this long or this elongated arm swing. So a lot of times what I try to get my middles to do is to shorten it up by bending those elbows. Now, I'm going to show you both, and you work on both and you decide what works best for you as a middle hitter. So this is that nice long explosive arm swing. And this is going to be left, right, left. Listen to the cadence. Left, right, left. Not left, right, left. Not left, right, left. They're not even. It's going to be a left, pause, right, left. A lot of times the middle approach is predicated on what the pass looks like. Since we don't have a ball being passed, you just have to just kind of follow what I'm doing and don't worry about the ball right now. So it's going to be left, right, left with a nice long arm swing. Now you'll notice as I jump, as I'm planting in my closeout, right, left, my hips have now come from facing the net, because most middles take a straight on approach, but I don't want to face the net the entire time. I want to go left, and as I close out, my hips are opening, and I'm planting open to the setter, who's probably standing 2 feet away from me and slightly in front of me. Okay? So I don't want to jump in this position and then turn in the air. I want to be turned on the plant. And as I'm jumping, I'm open to the setter. And if the set is in front of me, to the right, I can hit what's known as the wrist away shot. If the set goes directly on my head, I have the option of hitting a wrist away shot or hitting a cross body pinky down. Wrist away is thumb down. We're really focusing on the approach, but what you do up in the air is part of the approach and the arm swing. So thumb down creates that wrist away shot. Pinky down creates that cross body shot. Basically, wherever your palm is facing, that's where you're going to hit the ball, unless you completely miss hit it. So, as I jump, if that ball is to my right side of my eye, I'm going to probably hit a wrist away shot. If the ball gets even with my head, I have the option of hitting wrist away or cross body. But if the ball gets to my left eye or left shoulder, you have really no choice but to hit a cross body shot. And as you jump, you're going to rotate in the air, hit, and land. So this is going to be the cross body shot. Left, right, left. And you notice that I've now turned, and I've faced across my body. All right? So one more time. Now if you're middle and you have trouble with your feet doing this little dance before you've actually gone anywhere, use that little trick where you just step on your left, you take your left heel and you step on the right toe. So now I can't move my right foot unless I want to dislocate my ankle or my toe. All right, so now my first step is basically going to be toward the net and just take my left foot and take a small step. So right now I'm at about 11, 12 feet, and I'm going to take this step about a foot, foot and a half. Okay? So now that gives me 10 feet or so before I hit the net. Well, I don't want to hit the net. So I'm going to jump about 2 to 3 feet away from the net. And then I'm going to have a naturally slightly forward jump into the net. So I want to jump at about 3 feet off the net, maybe, depending on how big of a jumper I am, which isn't very big anymore. I'm probably going to try to fly a little bit, but really focus on the vertical part of my jump, because there will just naturally be a horizontal aspect to my jump. So by stepping on my foot, I'm now going to go left, and notice that my hands have not moved far. This is where they move. On the right, left, I'm going to throw them back hard with my palms up. This is the long approach. Okay? Now, if my arms are too long and they're consistently slow getting up or late getting up, it's not about speed, it's about timing. And that's an important distinction to make. It's very important. Speed is relative. I'm not smart enough to explain this in scientific terms. All right? Timing is more important than speed. All right? If your speed is off, it's going to hurt you. But you can maybe get away with it if your timing is good. If your timing is off, the timing between your approach, the timing between your arms and your legs, the timing between the set and your jump. Timing is probably the most important facet of being a successful attacker, regardless of how high you jump or how low you jump. If you jump, an average high school girl probably has a vertical jump in the 20 to 26 inch range. That's a pretty good vertical jump. If you have an average vertical jump, then you have good timing. You will hit somewhere above the net. That's important. You want to hit above the net. If your timing is off by being too early, you're going to be hitting the ball on the way down. If your timing is late jumping, then you're going to be going up as the ball's coming below the net, and you're going to be hitting with a bent elbow. So this is why timing, in my opinion, is more important than any other aspect of attacking, even how high you jump. Okay? So get your timing right, and that'll help you. So now, if you have this long approach, we're going to shorten it up. I call this the choo-choo. It's almost like my arms are connected to a wheel of a train, and it's just going back and forward. So by bending the elbows, I'm able to get those arms up a little bit earlier. I might lose a little bit in terms of lift, but by getting those arms up earlier, that puts me in better position to hit the ball, timing-wise. So this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to hit crossbody. Okay, so if you're a middle hitter, let's make sure that we learn to focus on either short arms, or if you have really good timing, get those arms nice and long, but get them up before you leave the ground. Three-step approach, open those hips up to the setter, who's right there, because you want the ball coming in towards you versus past you. And the second most important thing as a middle hitter, I want my middles to hit high. It's great if they can hit it hard, but if I'm hitting it hard and the ball's going out of bounds, I'm hitting it hard here and the ball consistently goes out of bounds, well then, you're not really helping the team and you're not making yourself better. If I learn to contact the ball way up here at full extension in front of my face, you will start to slowly but surely hit better angles, and as the timing gets better and as your body develops, you'll start to learn how to whip through that ball, and that's where you get the power. So high contact versus low contact is a much better option versus hitting it as hard as you can, okay? Unless you're jumping and your ribs are at the top of the net and you can hit like this, which very few of us can, then really focus on that high contact. Notice that the non-hitting arm, after it jumps, we're gonna pull it down and into our belly. All right, it's rare that it'll just drop in. A lot of times it'll drop down and then pull back up. You see this a lot. So up. All right, so middle hitters, three-step approach. Depending on what your setter's running or depending on what your coach is running, you might have to hit a 2-ball or a 1-ball. Those are usually your main options in the basic middle attack. All right, the 2-ball, the ball gets set, then you go. A 1-ball, you go, the ball gets set. Now you may jump before the ball gets set, or you may jump just slightly after the ball gets set, but that's something that's going to be worked out between you and your teammates.